Am I the butthole for shaming my family for not supporting me enough during my cancer treatment? I think I'm in the right on this, but I've also been told I'm an abrasive butthole, so maybe I should have handled this differently. I'm 25, female, and have cancer. I'm not going to die. We caught it early enough to know that I will survive this. Chemo sucks. I'm already sick of the G.I. Jane / Natalie Portman / Imperator Furiosa jokes after I shaved my head, but at least I can now smoke pot in a state that bans recreational marijuana use. The other night, I got phone calls from my sister and my cousin letting me know that our aunt, who is the most overzealous, narcissistic, self-absorbed woman we know, was planning on having the whole family show their support for my cancer diagnosis by getting everyone to shave their heads. Personally, I always thought this stunt was really stupid. And my sister and cousin are against this for a number of reasons. My sister is a flight attendant and just got off furlough, so she doesn't want to jeopardize her job by showing up to work with a shaved head when her airline has a very strict dress code. My cousin is 14, has waist-length red hair that makes her look like a ginger Rapunzel, and is already dealing with self-esteem issues. Her hair is the only thing she likes about herself, so shaving it off would destroy her mentally. They tried to talk my aunt out of it, but she wasn't budging. We think my aunt is doing this to get clout on social media, maybe even get an article in People. I don't know. As I said, she will make anything about her. So, without naming names, I made this post on Facebook letting everyone in our family know that the jig is up. The gist was that I don't want to see anyone shaving their heads in the name of supporting me just because I have cancer, especially when some of them were the ones behind the G.I. Jane jokes. Instead of doing something that would make them feel good about themselves, why not do something to make me feel good? Like, oh, I don't know, driving me to my appointments now and then, or helping around the apartment, or cooking when I don't feel like Hot Pockets again. Just something to make my routine a little easier while I deal with the chemo side effects. Hell, even a lemonade stand will do, because this is America and our healthcare system is a joke. This backfired, and now many of my relatives, spearheaded by my aunt, are putting me on blast by calling me ungrateful. I should be happy to see that I have my whole family supporting me on my battle, barf, by doing this selfless act. They even went as far as to say that I was acting like a brat by saying they don't help out enough and what I'm asking for is too much. Even though they have done diddly squat since I got my diagnosis. So now, my family, except my sister and cousin, think I'm an entitled jerk who is using her cancer diagnosis to get more out of them. And maybe AITA for how I handled this. I need a second opinion. NTA, you are the one with cancer. You are the one who needs the extra help, and guess what? Forcing a 14-year-old girl to shave her head is going to do what? Having you poor sister who just got her job back put that in jeopardy is going to do what exactly? Play the cancer card. I have cancer, F off. I know, right? I'm not a fan of our extended family, but I love my sister and cousin. I would be furious if their lives got effed because of me. My sister's career is everything to her. And our cousin is just the sweetest little cinnabon. I am quite protective of her. Dear family, it has come to my attention that some of you think I'm attempting to use the cancer card to guilt you into supporting me through my treatment. Nothing could be further from the truth. Help or don't help. I care very little at this point. What I do care about is that a couple of my relatives are being pressured into shaving their heads against their will by a certain someone, risking their careers as well as their self-esteem. I cannot stress enough that I am totally against this pointless virtue signaling, and will call said person out full blast on every social media outlet I have should any of you be forced to go bald against your will. I apologize if my first post made me seem entitled and selfish, but I'm sick, yes, cancer card played, and tired of the self-righteous BS and a certain someone's desire to gain likes at my expense. You know who you are. Stop it now. Love, Late Yellow 7154 NTA. Edit. Thanks everyone for the gold and the awards, but I would prefer you donate your money to cancer research or any person or family who is dealing with medical issues. They need the help more than I need internet accolades. Op. Also maybe forward information on the to your family and point out that they are not actually helping. Edit. There is a P2 web link. The ring theory is brilliant. I am not op, but I will be using it to confront my family, gently, with their behavior. Thank you so much for sharing it. Ever since I was a kid, Any problem of mine was a reason for my family to complain to me and me having to comfort them. I was soon to realize this was a big trend. When my father left, my grandmother would go woe is me on me and my mother, and 15 years later, she still does it. Mom feels sick? She has to comfort grandma that Mom, will be okay. I have trouble at work? I have to comfort both of them or keep it really secret. The ring theory is something we need to discuss, thank you. Yeah. The ring theory is pretty important. Generally, my family really sucks at it for the little things, but I talked to the extended family about it when we got a serious diagnosis and it actually clicked. It was harder on my mom, who no longer has a spouse to help, but she genuinely did it and I am so grateful. I can't imagine going through the last 8 months feeling like I need to comfort the extended/in-laws. That is perfect, and recognizable. My dad went through a terrible debilitating illness. It was hard on all of us, most of all him. I have bawled my eyes out and complained, but only to my partner, or my own friends, or to my parents' acquaintances. With my mum I don't complain, instead I unpack the dishwasher, cook, take work out of her hands, and check up on her. She's in a closer ring because she lives with him. I never knew about the therapy, the dynamic just felt natural and right. Similar experience, except it was my mom going through it. My sister and I would bitch about stuff but to each other, never to my dad who was her caretaker. It feels natural because if you have compassion and empathy is natural. Brilliant, thank you. I've never heard of the ring theory before, thank you for sharing it. Love ring theory, just discovered it on Reddit recently. The pandemic edition people might want to be careful about, because while everyone has things they are going through due to the pandemic, someone going through a crisis of normal times and pandemic times still should not have to ever take a turn listening to someone else's grievances, like this example with Op. I can't imagine cancer is in any way easy to deal with in normal times, but adding all the complications of a pandemic are a multiplier of the worst sort when already facing a major medical crisis. Op's cancer doesn't get to be about her aunt just because her aunt might have had a hard year. It's important to keep the focus where it's needed. This exactly, the pandemic edition is well-intentioned but not well thought out. We're all affected, but we're not all affected the same way, or to the same extent, so we're not all in the same place. Introverts are having an easier time than extroverts. Folks who can WFH are in a different position than those who can't, or who've lost their jobs. Folks with illness or who've lost family or friends. Essential and healthcare workers. Etc. It shouldn't be a competition, and we should all be able to grieve, but the same principle applies. We're all affected, but we're not all affected the same way, or to the same extent, so we're not all in the same place. This is the danger of the we're all in this together attitude. We aren't. We aren't all in the same boat, we're all in the same storm. Some people have much better boats than others have to help them weather the storm. Some people are barely hanging on by clinging to the driftwood that floats by. Really beautifully said. As someone whose boat is small and leaking, thank you, folded hands. I've been there. My boat is in better shape now than it was a few years ago. Reach out if there's something smallish that you need to help. I think this taking turns thing is only good if nobody of those taking turns has a bigger crisis. Like if someone lost their job due to the pandemic and the others didn't, the one who lost the job should be the center. But if they all still have a job and are healthy, in body and mind, and nothing out of the ordinary happened and they all just want to vent about the problems of online school and work from home and how the internet sometimes crashes and so on. Taking turns sounds really good. That way everyone can vent for a moment and feel heard. In the article linked above about the pandemic version, it mentions taking time maybe at a family dinner to let everyone be the center of the rings, because we're all going through things right now. I thought that was a great idea. That's a great method for dealing with issues as they arise. Today I learned about ring theory. Web link. This is great, and a good example can be found in Saving Private Ryan. Tom Hanks tells the squad, "You never gripe down the chain of command," paraphrased. I've used this throughout my life and only ever had good results. Nice to have something to apply it to matters that are more emotional too. Thank you for sharing this. I will also be saving and using this within my own life. Oh, boy, if more people knew the ring theory, life would be better and this subreddit would be boring. Thank you so much for sharing this. It's so good. This information is amazing and I will use it. My aunt thought, wrongly, that my father, her brother, and me were in danger, and she started complaining about her future loss. In front of my mom. I really wanted this to be an application of abstract algebra to cancer support, and I was disappointed. We made my mom cancer cards on Vistaprint, 1 box of business cards. She could pull one out and use it whenever she wanted. But then it was used. She would call and say, "I'm pulling a cancer card, I want y'all to bring dinner on Sunday and eat with me." Or cancer card. You have to say yes. It made it so we were able to joke about it, but she could also get what she needed and wanted. My mom is pretty cool, though, and wouldn't take advantage. This is a pretty great idea. Some people are terrible at asking for help, and this gives them permission to do so. That is an amazing idea. Or better yet, dear family, I'm sorry for imagining that my cancer is about me. I didn't realize that it was about you and your Instagram feeds. My bad. Clearly, my having cancer is an opportunity for you to show the world how incredibly empathetic you are while doing exactly nothing to help me get through my cancer more easily. I thought my having cancer was actually a bit of bad luck for me in a moment when I needed my family to help me out. But now I see the light. Go shave your heads and look like idiots with my blessing, and I will comment in every social media post about it, detailing all the actual help you've given me, because this is all about you. Love, the person with cancer. Sadly, I think it would go over the head of the people who are angry. Family, let's support original poster in their fight against cancer by shaving our heads up. I hear people are planning to shave their heads to support me. I do not find that supportive. Here is a list of things that would actually be helpful and supportive. Family, original poster is an entitled monster using cancer to ask for support. The audacity. These people are self-centered and consumed by their own hurt egos. Reason is not working. Then put them on blast. Name names. If this aunt really is that self-absorbed, then maybe a bit of well-deserved, smear us in order. I agree on NTA. However, if original poster had from the start only done what you've just suggested, things would be more unambiguous. The issue arises because she didn't merely say, "Don't let others be pressured into an act on my behalf that I see as pointless." If that were all she'd done, she wouldn't be here. The issue is that she did more than that by saying do more to help me. Personally, I don't see that as a problem either. But telling original poster how she could have phrased the part that already wasn't the problem misses the main point. I feel like her statement made a lot of sense though. They were supposedly doing it to support her. Instead of just telling them does not find that supportive, she also told them what support she needs. NTA, I had cancer, so I'm sorry to hear that. I know firsthand it sucks. They're trying to make you feel like the butthole because they want to support you in the way they feel like supporting you and not the way you want to be supported. That's complete BS in my opinion. Forgive me if I'm making an assumption here, but it sounds like you have attention monsters on your hands here. They're unwanted and unneeded. It sounds like your aunt especially wants to talk about this when asked so people can say, "Oh, how nice of you to join her so she can look good." It's crap and you really don't need it on top of this. Side note, I did 3 rounds of chemo and nobody warned me of the constipation, so ask them for RX laxatives. They're trying to make you feel like the butthole because they want to support you in the way they feel like supporting you and not the way you want to be supported. Please read this and tell this to your family. Shaving your head in support is 90% of the time a gimmick, and unless it helps you with your mental health, parents shaving heads to support their kids fall into the other 10%, because it does help the kids deal with the situation. There is no other reason than self-glorification. Good on you for letting everyone know the help you need and shutting down your aunt's shameless self-promotion. I hope your cousin isn't her kid so she can't get her hands on her hair. Right? I've always seen shaving the head in solidarity to be like one of the most intimate types of support. So like you said, a parent of a child or maybe a best friend. Usually I would only imagine they would do that for emotional support after all the other types of support are covered, like transportation, meals, etc. I also feel like that would be something people would do more commonly for life-threatening cancer, where there's a lot more emotional support needed while you work on understanding and accepting your mortality, and may have more fear and benefit from the feeling of solidarity. Personally, I'd rather help someone afford a wig so they can feel normal than shave my head, if that's what they wanted. NTA, This support is what people who don't want to provide actually help do to save face and gain social points, just like you pointed out. Your aunt can F right off. Take my word for it, I'm just about to go NC on this branch of the family. I'll make my own family with my sister and cousin. Sounds like a good idea. Just because they're family doesn't mean you can't cut them off. No point in having toxic people damaging your already difficult life. It is clear that when I asked for support, some that claimed to be supportive lashed out because I needed actual help and not for them to host a self-centering PR stunt. If you are not willing to show love and kindness as I battle this journey and shame me for needing real support rather than empty gestures, then I cannot spend the last of my energy after fighting cancer to fight you. It breaks my heart that you would treat my very real struggles this way. So to save me from future heartache and unnecessary stress, please respect that I am cutting some people out of my life. After all, life is more than just surviving, it is about being happy and spending it with those you love, and love you back. I went through something similar and these words just came to me to express a similar sentiment I had that I think you are having. This sounds like the very best idea. As someone who is also going through cancer treatments, I say, your family can F right off. They are terrible. I was no contact before my diagnosis, but I know 100%, they would have been terrible about it. I'm wishing you all the best during treatment. And F cancer. There's a difference between kin and family. Get rid of the useless kin so your family can thrive. It's like when people donate food to shelters but really they've just cleared their cupboards out and are donating the crap that no one wants or is years out of date. It's performative support. They want the social kudos of being helpful and decent without any of the work that is required. You're not being ungrateful for their help because they're not helping you. They're helping their own egos. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.